The first question asked was to list two of the key cognitive theorists and their main contributions. The first I would like to discuss is Piaget, who helped us to accept the idea that children's cognitive behaviour is intrinsically rather than extrinsically motivated. Piaget's theories of how a child's mind develops has been particularly influential in educational theory. He recognised that a child cannot undertake certain tasks until they are psychologically mature enough to do so. Piaget saw that to characterise human cognitive development adequately, we need something less general than the functional invariance of assimilation and accommodation, co-present in all cognitive activity, but also more general than an endless list of specific acquired concepts. For Piaget, that something was cognitive structure, something which changes with age as the functional invariants do not, but also something more general than individual contents, something which will pull diverse contents together into a single chunk. He proposed that children's thinking does not develop entirely smoothly. Instead, there are stages of development that encompass varying capabilities. He saw these transitions as taking place at about 18 months, 7 years, and 11 or 12 years. This has been taken to mean that before these ages, children are not capable, no matter how bright, of understanding things in certain ways, and has been used as the basis for scheduling the school curriculum. The second cognitive theorist I will discuss is Vygotsky, who was a Russian psychologist. His major contribution was the concept that social interaction is fundamental in the process of cognitive development. He focused on the connections between people and the socio-cultural context in which they interact. He suggested that speech and writing are initially tools a child can use to mediate their social environment and to communicate needs. Vygotsky believed that the internalization of these tools led to higher thinking skills. Vygotsky refers to elementary mental functions, attention, sensation, perception, and memory, and that eventually, through interaction within the socio-cultural environment, these are developed into more sophisticated and effective mental processes, which he refers to as higher mental functions. According to Vygotsky, the zone of proximal development is the distance between the actual development level as determined by independent problem solving and the level of potential development as determined through problem solving under adult guidance or in collaboration with more capable peers. As the student learns more skills, the zone moves forward. The second question addresses the influential moral theorists. The first I will discuss is Lawrence Kohlberg. Kohlberg used discussions of moral dilemmas with different age ranges to distinguish three distinct levels of moral development. These are pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. Kohlberg suggested that all people can only pass through the stages in order and that each stage replaces the former. He also believed that not everyone reaches all stages. The second moral theorist I would consider most influential is John Bowlby. I strongly believe in the importance of his development of attachment theory, as I believe it to be one of the most imperative theories for successful child development. Bowlby's attachment theory details elements that are necessary in helping children emotionally adjust. He defined attachment as a special emotional relationship that involves an exchange of comfort, care, and pleasure. Bowlby identified that infants experience extreme distress when separated from their mothers, and that no other caregiver appears to satisfy the child's desire to be with their mother. Bowlby believed that there were four distinguishing characteristics of attachment. These include proximity maintenance, the desire to be near the people we are attached to, safe haven, returning to the attachment figure for comfort and safety in the face of fear or threat, secure base, the attachment figure acts as a base of security from which the child can explore the surrounding environment, and separation distress, anxiety that occurs in the absence of the attachment figure. It's important for teachers to have an understanding of moral and cognitive development because teachers need to understand children in the way they learn, understand the varying developmental needs of children, know different ways to present education to target individual learning styles, and have an understanding of how a student's mind progresses. Knowing about cognitive and moral development in children will aid me in creating a learning environment that caters for varying stages as well as design lessons around appropriate capabilities. I will also understand the evolution of teaching theory and consider different strategies to cater for individual learning needs. An example of the application of cognitive development in the classroom is understanding limitations of a child's understanding of the world. Using Piaget's stages of development, we know that children up to the age of 7, from reception to year 2, have the ability to imagine but not think in an abstract manner. In application, this may mean that when discussing the plots of books and their stories read together in class, the teacher may ask students to consider what their experience is with the subject matter. An example may be reading a story about fish, One student may reflect on an experience with going fishing with their family, another may consider the meal they had the previous night, another may identify with a trip to an aquarium, whilst another may think about their own fish tank at home. The teacher's role is to help children understand that all of these thoughts are relevant and help contextualise the different experiences. An example of the application of moral development in the classroom is a teacher understanding a young student's anxieties around separating from their mother for a duration. This is particularly relevant to children in reception who are just starting school and who may not have been away from their parents for a substantial periods of time. To effectively manage this distress, teachers can be supportive in understanding how to make a child feel more secure. This may be by involving parents in the morning routine, such as reading with children, and then introducing activities that are appealing for students to engage in. Frequent reminders of the class routine may also be helpful by using posters of the daily schedule indicating when recesses and lunches are, so the child can understand the school routine and allow the child to calculate the pattern of the parent's return.